Set clear and meaningful goals. Are you looking for a way to achieve your biggest dreams and reach your true potential? Look no further than this chapter on setting clear, meaningful goals. This involves identifying short and long-term personal goals, developing a plan and schedule to achieve them, creating specific and achievable goals, determining the resources needed to achieve those goals, and breaking them down into smaller, manageable steps. Learn how to cultivate an attitude of gratitude and celebrate success. Using the strategies and tools you'll learn in this chapter, you can achieve your biggest goals and reach your true potential. Unleash your true potential. Achieve your biggest goals by setting clear, meaningful goals. Setting clear and meaningful goals. Setting clear and meaningful goals is essential to success. It's important to take the time to figure out what you want to achieve and create a plan to get there. There are two types of goals: short-term and long-term. Short-term goals are goals that can typically be achieved within a few weeks or months. Long-term goals are goals that take more time to achieve, usually over a period of months or years. Setting specific, achievable goals has the benefits of giving you a sense of direction and purpose, improving motivation and productivity, and creating a measurable way to track progress. Setting realistic goals is also important, as they should be achievable within the given time frame. Lastly, it is important to utilize aim. Hey. It is a goal-setting technique that ensures that your goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. As you explore your personal values and needs, it's important to ask yourself why you're setting goals. What is the purpose of your goal? What motivates you to achieve it? Once you figure out what drives you forward, you'll have a clear idea of what your goals are. Setting goals is just the first step. After that, it's important to have a plan and schedule to achieve it. It is essential to define the steps to achieve your goal and design a work schedule. You should also set milestones and deadlines to help you stay on track. It's also important to schedule regular reviews and evaluations to measure progress and make adjustments if necessary. When setting specific and achievable goals, it is important to make them more specific. Goals should also be achievable, and data can be used to inform the goal creation process. Consider your experience and expertise and measure success through metrics. It is also important to determine the resources needed to achieve your goals. Examine your available resources, estimate what you will need to achieve your goals, and calculate the costs. You may also need to identify potential sources of additional funding and explore ways to better utilize existing resources. Breaking down your goals into smaller, more manageable steps is key to staying organized and motivated. Prioritize your steps, create a timeline for each step, set checkpoints and milestones, and estimate the time needed to complete each task. It's important to cultivate an attitude of gratitude and celebrate success. Recognize each success and celebrate each win, no matter how small. It's also important to reframe failures as learning experiences and practice gratitude for the journey. Find areas for improvement and maintain a positive outlook and attitude. Establish a plan and schedule to achieve your goals. Creating a plan and schedule to achieve your goals is essential to achieving success. Setting a timeline for yourself will give you clarity and focus on what to do and when. This can help you stay on track and give you a means to measure your progress. The first step is to define the steps to achieve your goal. Start with your end goal in mind and break it down into smaller, more achievable tasks. This will help you stay organized and stay informed. Once your task list is created, create a timeline outlining what needs to be done and when. This timeline can include when you want to start each task, when you want to complete it, and when you want to achieve your goal. It's important to set milestones and deadlines to ensure you're on track. Milestones can be used to measure progress and mark specific points in time. Deadlines can be used to keep you focused and motivated to achieve your goals. It's also important to schedule regular reviews and evaluations to stay on the right track. This way, you can make adjustments when needed and adjust the timeline if necessary. When creating a schedule and plan to achieve your goals, it is important to consider your resources and capabilities. Make sure you have access to the resources and time you need to complete the task. Examine your available resources and estimate how many you will need to achieve your goals. You may also need to calculate the cost of achieving your goals and identify potential sources of additional funding. Establishing a plan and schedule to achieve your goals is an important part of the success process. This will help you stay organized and motivated to achieve your goals. It also allows you to make adjustments when needed and ensures that you have access to the resources you need to succeed. Taking the time to create a timeline and plan for your goals will get you one step closer to achieving success. Create specific and achievable goals. When setting goals, it's important to make sure they're specific and achievable. Being specific will help you stay focused and see your progress. Achievability helps you stay motivated and keep reaching for the stars. To make sure your goals are specific, write them down. Writing things down helps you stay clearer and more organized, which in turn makes things easier to accomplish. Writing down your goals gives you a sense of direction and purpose. The next step is to determine if your goal is achievable. To do this, it is important to look at the data. By collecting data and using it to inform your goal creation process, you can better understand what is achievable and what is not. It may also be helpful to consider the experience and expertise you have on the topic. Measuring success through metrics can be very helpful in understanding whether your goals are achievable. It's also important to make sure your goals are realistic. Setting unrealistic goals can leave you feeling overwhelmed and frustrated. It's much better to set achievable goals and celebrate successes along the way. It's a good idea to break down your goals into smaller, more manageable steps. This can help make your goals seem less threatening and more achievable. It can be helpful to prioritize steps, create a timeline, and have check-in points, estimating the time needed to complete. Each task can also be very helpful in this process. Ultimately, it's important to cultivate an attitude of gratitude and celebrate successes, no matter how small. Taking time to acknowledge your progress and celebrate your successes not only keeps you motivated, but also helps you maintain a positive outlook. Following the strategies outlined above will go a long way in helping you create specific, achievable goals. Take the time to consider what is achievable and what is not. Look at the data and break down your goals into manageable steps. Good luck! Determine what resources you need to achieve any goal. It is essential to know the resources needed to achieve it. This involves examining the resources you already have, estimating the resources needed to achieve your goals, calculating how much it will cost to reach your goals, and identifying potential sources of additional funding. It is also important to find ways to utilize existing resources more effectively. Research available resources. The first step in determining what resources you need to achieve your goals is to look at what resources are available. Depending on your goals, resources may include knowledge and experience in a specific area, a network of contacts you can leverage, financial resources, educational resources, and emotional resources. It is important to consider your strengths and weaknesses to determine what resources you need to acquire or strengthen to achieve your goals. Estimating required resources. After determining the resources currently available, the next step is to estimate the resources needed to achieve the goal. This includes being realistic when evaluating the resources you need to acquire to achieve your goals, and which resources are most difficult to acquire. It is important to consider the cost of acquiring each resource, as well as the time and effort required to acquire each resource. Cost calculation. After identifying and estimating the resources needed to achieve your goals, the next step is to calculate how much it will cost to acquire each of these resources. This may include looking at the financial cost of each resource, as well as the time, energy, and effort required to acquire each resource. It is important to consider the cost-benefit of each resource and ensure that the cost of acquiring the resource is proportional to the benefits of acquiring the resource. Identify additional funding sources. The next step is to identify potential sources of additional funding that can be used to obtain the resources needed to achieve the goal. This may include seeking out grants, loans, and scholarships that may help offset some of the costs associated with acquiring resources. It is important to thoroughly research all available options and determine which funding source is best for your specific situation.